bringing to 147 the number fleeing to that country. Jordan's King Hussein is angry with Washington and considering cutting diplomatic ties with the United States. And 936 Iraqis have been captured or have surrendered since the war began. Well, if you have questions about the Gulf War, call our Gulf line at 542-1111. Well, temps close to 50 today. More news and weather in 1 hour.
Good morning, everybody. Coming up today on Between Friends, we are going to talk to Raymond Burr. Yes, he returns as the legendary Perry Mason in another movie. And I want to know how he gets his beard to grow in like that. I kind of love that gray with that little bit of that goatee thing. He looks like Pete Fountain, the famous clarinetist.
Yeah.
You're talking to him.
Good beard. And Dawson and I went to see the preview of L.A. Story, Steve Martin's new movie last night. This is quite a fun scene in the movie. We'll tell you all about it, what we thought of it, and whether we think it's worth your money for the ticket.
And later on, I will be singing some hit tunes from the music of Andrew Lloyd Webber.
There he is, right there in that white dress.
No, we'll have some singers, actually some professional folks that get paid to sing are going to be right here on our show, and they're very talented.
They certainly are, and they look better in the dresses than you did. And professional athletes, we're going to speak with 3 of them who have somehow avoided the pitfalls that many pro athletes fall into. We'll find out how.
Hello, and a very good morning to you. Coming to you live from Golden Valley.
Sparkling Golden Valley.
Sparkling. Sounds like a mineral water, doesn't it?
Yes, it's going to be maybe 50 degrees today.
And you know what? I'm supposed to go out and do a story on ice fishing, and and it's it's kind of a news at 11 thing. Our producer, Gene Kosick, is saying, we don't want to drown you, Dawson, out there on Medicine Lake or Bass Lake.
Did you ever think that they planned it that way, that they're sending you out on the ice when it is thin?
If I'm not here on, it's sort of a host thing. I'm supposed to do some ice fishing and go skiing at the legendary Buck Hill, as we all know, this weekend. So if I'm not here on Friday, I just didn't make it, and it's been a wonderful 4.5 months. I mean Monday, when I'm back on Monday. So
well, we could have somebody in the audience fill in for you, probably.
That's right.
We've got a lot of very game potential
Westwood
TV
Junior
hosts.
High School here today.
Everybody smile, wave, hey!
Anybody considering a career in the television arts? Anybody would like to do?
Boy, that didn't go over very well.
What would you like to do, dear? What would you like to do? I don't know. Yeah, that's good, because none of us know either.
Be like really cute, be on TV.
Okay,
yeah.
Deborah Norville. No, it's a fun career.
It's good work if you can get it, but sometimes it doesn't last too long.
And if you get a job, hang on to it with everything you can do. Hang on to that job, which I'm always doing on a daily basis.
So what else? We went to the movies last night. We're going to give you the review of that a little bit later. Dawson was nice. The movie was at Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park Square, I think. Brooklyn Center Square, something right across from Brookdale Mall. Thank you, Frank.
And you were late.
I was not late. The movie starts at 7:30. I was in my seat before 7:30, wasn't I? I saw the beginning of the movie.
And who saved you a seat?
You did. But how many times have I saved you a seat?
A couple of times.
Okay.
But Corbin had to be honed in by coordinates.
I did.
You know.
I was like on a beeper. Where is it? Where do I go? Left? Go right? I'm yelling at people on
Left
the
at
street
Best
asking
Buys.
for directions.
Right.
I was a little lost, but eventually I found it.
This could be one of my greatest segues. Someone who doesn't need to be honed in with a beeper is Raymond Burr. He's long been identified with the role of Perry Mason, which originally aired in 1957 and was on the air until 1956. He is now currently starring in his 13th Perry Mason movie, and it is called The Case of the Maligned Mobster. Let's take a look.
Drug deal that went bad.
You didn't give him a job when he got out of prison. Maybe he has it in for you.
I made a mistake hiring him in the first place. Caused me enough trouble.
I mean, using your car when he killed Dominic.
Yeah. He's not only a punk, he's a dumb punk. So, how's it look?
We'll find out in the morning. Hearing's at 10 o'clock.
Do you know the name of the beauty shop your wife went to?
Yeah, it's, Paul Garcia's. Why do you want to know? Get back!
Perry!
Perry was shot.
Be still my heart. Perry was shot. A little correction. I think I said 1957 to 19. It's 1957 to 1966 that the original series aired. And joining us now via satellite is Raymond Burr. Good morning, sir.
Welcome back.
Good morning.
Nice to have you again.
Thank you very much. Nice to be with you again.
Nice to have you on the show. Be Still My Heart. I saw you get shot there. I don't think I've ever seen that in an episode or in a Perry Mason movie.
I think it's the first time Mason has been shot. He's been injured skiing or something like that, but it's the first time he's been shot, and that's what he gets for defending a mobster.
Did Perry ever lose a case in the old series?
Sure.
He did?
Qualified loss, but he lost. I think he lost 3 cases.
How did that? What was the public's reaction when he lost? Because every week I used to watch you, and I was always so psyched when you got the DA and you got the bad guy at the end of the show.
First 3 or 4 years, everybody used to make a gag out of, hey, ain't you ever going to lose a case? And when we did, we got over 35,000 letters saying, don't ever do that again.
Wow. You know, the last time that you were here visiting with us, we were talking about some of your other interests, and I read in your bio that they sent us that you are now currently breeding sheep. Now tell me, is this right? Breeding sheep to come up with a certain color wool so that you can take the wool, make rugs out of it to match the orchids that you raise. Have I got this right, or am I wrong on
That's
this?
pretty far-fetched. I'll
That
tell you
sounded
what.
pretty far-fetched to me.
We are raising sheep for colored wool. That is true. That way, you in earth colors, there are about 18 colors of wool that you can get without processing wool, either bleaching or dyeing it, or using chemicals. The wool is much easier and better to weave. And
what kind of colors are you trying? I mean, are we going to look out in the field there and see kind of a pale mauve and a little dusty
taupe
pink,
sheep?
a little mint green?
No, we're not talking about Easter dyed rabbits, okay, or eggs, or chicks. No, when you get a black sheep, it's black for 1 year. A black lamb grows up to be a black sheep, and it's black for 1 year. Then it turns a very dark brown, then a lesser dark brown, then a lesser dark brown, then either kind of a taupe color or gray. So you get all of those variations. Silver, almost silver color. In white, you can get from pure white to a kind of apricot color. So you have about 17 main colors.
Wow.
They're all earth colors, but they are very distinct, very definite. And a lot of people found allergies from wearing wool or using wool. And it wasn't so much from the wool as it was the chemicals that were used to process it.
Any chance on some of your upcoming Perry Mason movies that you might be wearing some sheep sweaters, some wool sweaters? Sort of a little fashion statement?
Well, I tell you what, there is a possibility when you got to the rugs. I like Portuguese rugs. And so I am sending some of our wool to Portugal to be woven into Portuguese rugs, and you may see some of those rugs in a Perry Mason scene.
You know, you sound like a real Renaissance man, because I know what you did the orchids. You used to own the newspaper, right, in Fiji. Isn't that where that was?
Yeah, we had a newspaper and orchids and cattle.
And yeah, and you're really, and now with the sheep and the acting, are there any other interests you want to pursue that you haven't touched on already?
Well, no, we're doing with the sheep. It's all a farm in Northern California, and it's just marvelous. I've you know, television ties you down, and I'm untied now, and I've missed it. We're growing the sheep for wool. We're growing grapes for both table and wine. We have all of our own vegetables, which makes the cooking much easier.
What a
and
healthy
better.
lifestyle, wonderful lifestyle.
And great, 153 fruit trees, everything but cherries.
Sounds wonderful, sounds like heaven.
Well,
So come out and visit.
we will.
I will.
We want to
right.
thank you so much for being with us today.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
Take care.
All right.
And just for those of you, this was not a promotion for the 4-H Club of Greater Minnesota. We're actually talking to Raymond Burr on the case of the malign monster. It is going to air right here on Monday, February 11th, 8 to 10. It's Perry Mason. We know all that. He's going to probably get the bad guy, but he's a very interesting and fascinating man. I mean, I like that he does a lot of orchids and the
America
sheep and stuff.
loves that
character. Yeah, he's
character.
great. And he looks fabulous, and I love that beard.
Yeah, what, it's up,
Love
he
that
lives
beard.
up in Napa Valley. I guess he didn't leave us his address, though, Dawson. He invited us, but he didn't tell us where he lived. Sure.
Raymond, I want a nice dark taupe with a little V-stripe on it. Okay.
When we come back, Dawson and I will review Steve Martin's new movie, L.A. Story. So stay tuned.
It's sensational, it's big, and it's backed by popular demand. It's Slumberland's famous 7-hour sale beginning this Saturday at 11 a.m. Smart furniture shoppers are already making their way to Slumberland, where everything's on sale. Every mattress, Lazy Boy recliner, daybed sofa, and sleep sofa in stock. Sealy mattresses from just $46, Lazy Boys from $196, and sofas as low as $388. Slumberland's 7-hour sale, Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. This many people can't be wrong.
Only one FM plays all oldies all the time. Cool 108.
I've been asked to say a few words about HBO, Cinemax, and cable. Personally, I love them.
Bring up the offer.
Whoa, hold on. I was just about to tell him about HBO with Driving Miss Daisy and Glory. I cried like a baby. And those championship knockouts, unforgettable. Oh, and that new Roseanne Barr comedy special, I was in stitches. Wait, I'm not done yet.
Yes, you are. You already told them about the great lineup. What they don't know is that now there's a great offer. Call 1-800-CABLE-TV to get $25 off installation, plus $5 off your first month of HBO or Cinemax. It's a great deal on cable's best entertainment package. So hurry. Call now.
Or you'll miss Cinemax. It's a movie lover's dream. With my old favorites, my new favorites, everything I love. And I'd be lost without those incredible cable channels like CNN and ESPN. With HBO, Cinemax, and cable, TV doesn't get any better.
And there's never been a better time to get it. So call now.
It's a great deal.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
As we mentioned earlier, Dawson and I went to L.A. Story last night. Heavily anticipated movie, particularly in, I think, these troubled times when people need a little bit of a lift. It stars, of course, Steve Martin and his wife in real life, Victoria Tennant, and Mary Lou Henner's in there. And
little vignette from Chevy Chase is in that.
Yeah, it's
Woody Harrelson from Cheers.
Yeah,
is in there?
he does. He has a little role as well. It's a fun movie. We thought we'd give you a sample, and then Dawson and I are going to tell you what we thought of it.
Rather than do an interview with me, which would be fascinating, by the way, I thought that possibly I'd take you on a, kind of a cultural tour of L.A.
Look how he's painted the blouse, sort of translucent. You can just make out her breast underneath it. When I see a painting like this, I must admit I get a little emotionally erect.
Bon appetit. Gee, I'm done already, and I don't remember eating.
What's his girlfriend's name? Sheila. She's the one who's always kissing everyone hello. I hate that. I'm not kissing anyone hello anymore. How was I in the meeting?
You were good.
Any advice?
Sure. Skipping. Skipping is the perfect compromise between running and walking. It looks too desperate if you run to a meeting.
Steve Martin.
Did you know that the same technology used to clean up the Alaskan oil spill can also suck fat from your thighs and chin?
L.A. Story.
I'll have a decaf coffee.
I'll have a decaf espresso.
I'll have a double decaf cappuccino. Do you have any decaffeinated coffee ice cream? I'll have a half double decaffeinated half cap with a twist of lemon.
I'll have a twist of lemon.
I'll have a twist of lemon.
Well, if you have ever been to Los Angeles, you know that some of those little bits and pieces that they hit on are really pretty true, pretty true to life. It's kind of a bizarre place, but a fun place. This particular movie was highly anticipated by me, I think, as well as the rest of the audience, because the theater filled up so quickly. People wanted to come and laugh. I enjoyed myself. I had a really good time. I have to say that on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give it about a 7 because it didn't turn out to be quite the movie that I had hoped. It was not overwhelmingly adorable like the movie Big was, but it was mildly interesting. There were a few good laughs in the movie, and Dawson and I were sitting several rows apart in the theater, and I could hear him laughing every once in a while in the theater. It does come with a PG-13 rating, and as far as I'm concerned, the humor of this movie is probably not geared to a 13-year-old. I don't think they'd get most of the stuff about half decaf, half caffeinated coffee.
With a twist of lemon.
Yeah, all the kind of very chic humor. So there's one scene where there's a bare-breasted woman briefly. There is some stuff about being under the covers, a little innuendo to making love. And so I would say no, even though it says PG-13, I would not take my 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old to this movie. But as a parent, I say go and have a good time.
I was hoping that it was going to be funnier. I loved Roxanne, and I'm a Steve Martin fan. This is an inside movie. One of our guests coming up is Sean Salisbury, quarterback for the Vikings, who grew up in Southern California. Sean would like it because he comes from Southern California. I lived in LA at one time. I enjoyed moments of it, hence the belly laughs. However, if you're from the Midwest, it's sort of an inside sort of showbiz kind of joke, and it really isn't that fun. There's some great moments. Steve Martin is trying to become a romantic lead. He did pull it off in Roxanne, but I think he misses the mark on this one, and I totally concur with Corbin that it is a little bit risque for young children. So if it's a choice between reading, you know, old copies of Reader's Digest or going to see this movie, I'd see this movie. But it's
a little rough.
Yeah, it's, well, I'm
more fun than that.
Huh? It's close, depending on what Reader's Digest you're reading. I mean, it was, I thought it was a bit of a sleeper.
Okay, all right.
I call him like I see him.
I thought Steve Martin was good, and I did believe him as a romantic lead. Okay.
He said, she said.
Yeah, once again, we differ in opinion. Now then, we have a great deal for you. This is from Androli's, and Androli's is a gorgeous salon. You can see it there, and they specialize in all different areas of beautifying and glamorizing, but this is what we're talking about right now. It is a moisturizing, cleansing facial. Does that look wonderful or what? It is 50% off. This particular facial, normally $42, now $21. It is at the Wyzetta Bay Center. Their phone number is 473-2503. Now, you have to call today, but the appointment is good for the future. So just call them today. Tell them when you would like to come. Be sure and say that you're calling for the Between Friends great deal so that you can get in on this 50% off price. And it's a great time of year to do that. Kind of give yourself
I kind of like that.
That little bit of a lift.
You should do that before every show.
It doesn't feel as good when you do it to yourself.
I know. Well, it's...
You have to have that woman do it to you.
That woman at Androli's. Yeah. Great. And when we come back, we're going to talk to 3 local professional athletes that are all planning for careers after professional sports. All that and more coming up live on Between Friends.
For all your new commitments, new concerns, and new hopes, KARE 11 News is there.
More from the Persian Gulf in 1 hour.
Every hour, on the hour, 24 hours a day,
highly successful.
keeping you informed.
Those of you who have someone overseas. And, we'll
And when is that matters more?
Minnesota's 24-hour news and weather channel.
Where do I go to find the coat I want? Only the Coat Company.
The Coat Company. We've got your coat.
You can eat cake. What? You can eat cake?
What about the fat?
No fat.
What about cholesterol?
No cholesterol.
Entenmann's is baking fat-free, cholesterol-free cakes and cookies.
It's Entenmann's, all right.
Fat-free, cholesterol-free, delicious Entenmann's in less than 100 calories per serving.
You can eat cake.
Out of a few essentials, this week at Snyder's, our super buy of the week is Sunshine Hydrox cookies, just 79 cents a pack.
Our entire line of Revlon fragrances and after-bath products has been marked down $2, and Reach brand toothbrushes are on sale for just $1.59. So next time you run out of something important, run into Snyder's.
Zero in on the $100,000 pyramid with host John Davidson.
Weekdays at 4 on KARE 11. Can you trust your mate? Some people are hiring private detectives to spy on their spouse. Can these marriages be saved? Wednesday at 10 on KARE 11 News.
Professional sports. Well, we have so many pro teams here in the Twin Cities that I think that we have heard a lot of the stories typical of what can happen to professional athletes if they don't manage their lives and their careers well. It is a fast-paced life that can overwhelm, I think, a lot of young men or young women going into that sort of big-moneyed fast lane. We have invited 3 professional athletes here. They are either playing now or have been playing in various sports around the country over the years, and we thought it would be interesting to talk to them in particular about how they have coped. The idea of the dumb jock is always kind of the connotation like the dumb blonde. So I kind of understand what you guys have been through. I know what it's like.
And the stupid brown head.
Yeah.
It's been a cross to bear for years. Okay.
Sitting next to me is Sean Salisbury, and he's the backup quarterback for the Vikings. He was the #1 recruited high school athlete in the country as a senior. He majored in broadcasting at USC, and he was one of the top 20 senior students at USC. Welcome to the program, Sean.
Thank you.
Next to him is Bill McKinney, who is a former pro athlete. In basketball, until recently, he was in management with the Timberwolves. He has a degree from Northwestern in education. He played pro basketball from '78 to '85. And he is now, they tell us, a strong candidate for general manager positions around the country. They're kind of a lot of excitement in the air. Hi, Bill.
Hello.
And then we have Henry Thomas, who is a defensive tackle with the Minnesota Vikings. He attended Louisiana State College. He guest hosts 2 weekly radio shows. He has says, now this is interesting, we'll have to ask him about this, he has insured himself against career-ending injuries, and he says he has learned how to invest his money for the future. Welcome to the program. That got a big smile out of him.
Give us some tips.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because when I think about those particular comments, Henry, I think about how were you so smart growing up in football and going through the same trials and tribulations that all the other athletes did, that you can so confidently say, I've insured myself against injury in the future and I know how to invest my money. Where did you learn those skills?
Just by observing guys before me, guys that played the game before me, guys that I looked up to and had played with and were a few years ahead of me, that an injury ended their career and they were left with a lot of medical bills and little money to take care of them. And I just tried to plan for the future. You know, I want my family to be taken care of. And so in that instance, if something should happen, I think the different insurance policies that I've taken out for myself and the many different investments will take care of that in the future.
If you get hurt, though, while playing, they have to honor the balance of your contract, correct?
Oh, well, of course, yes,
okay.
Definitely.
And an insurance policy is probably, for what you do for a living, is probably pretty expensive, isn't it?
Well, after what happens, I mean, I think it's worth it. If that should happen, it's going to be worth whatever the premium I had to pay.
Right. It seems to me, and of course you all have lived this life, but it seems to me that we hear more of the horror stories of people who, athletes who have fallen off the wagon either for alcohol or drug abuse or made a ton of money and then blew it and ended up, you know, in trouble and didn't make the cut the next year.
Those stories sell more papers.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I'm wondering. Are guys like you who are coping more typical, or are a lot of the jocks dumb jocks and they aren't coping very well?
I think for the most part, a lot of them are uninformed, but there's quite a few, like the guy sitting here and myself and many others, that that are very good at it. You know, it's amazing. You can open a newspaper article and see that somebody saves somebody's life and it'll get about 2 sentences. But the first second you see somebody in the limelight who does drugs or what have you, it gets 2 paragraphs or 3 paragraphs. So everybody's looking for the negative things that go on, and what may be a few people here makes it tough for the rest of us. So I think for the most part, I think guys are more informed now than they were 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Sean, you obviously have the educational credentials that are quite impressive. I mean, top 20 in your senior class at USC. That's impressive. So you had a lot of the mind skills to go on. Do you feel like the educational system, for the most part, has failed a lot of athletes? We think about Dexter Manley, we think about athletes who were pushed on because they were good athletes. Did you ever see that happening to friends around you?
No question about it. It happens to all of us. And you can get caught up into that, because if you are raised in a family that enjoys sports and your buddies around you enjoy sports, and nowadays with the steroids and people, the pressure with education so expensive, to get that scholarship and pay for education, people are going to any length to get themselves a college scholarship, and it goes on and on. For me, my family instilled in me to work hard and realize that what can happen if you don't get there. So I just took the other side, saying, hey, if I make it, it's a cherry on top. If I don't, then I have something to fall back on.
I think the other part about the educational system, every system has its flaws, but I was taught at a very early age that you have the responsibility to learn. And you have teachers that have a very tough job in trying to teach, and I've talked to teaching professionals now, and it's more disciplined than teaching. And you have an obligation to yourself, and that's what separates the pros from the amateurs. They have the ability to either work out, to do what's necessary. Now, there are some players that go through an educational system that push through, and they don't realize the disadvantages until they're through playing.
Did the Vikings preparing you, or do they have any kind of a seminar or program to say, listen, this is what we think you should do? Finish your degree, get a graduate degree, or here are some contacts, like a placement service when the career is finally over? Do they offer any assistance in that regard?
They do have an assistance plan where if you or your spouse are willing to go back to school, they'll pick up half of the cost.
You know, you brought up an interesting point, Bill, about parents, and you did as well, Sean, about background. I don't think that there is a kid out there who hasn't dreamed in one form or another, whether it's a young woman who wants to be a professional ice skater or a young man who wants to be a professional football player, that is a dream come true. And parents get nervous, and sometimes parents push a lot. I mean, I think about football in Texas, where you grew up. It's like hockey here. They get them in there at 6 years old, and they pump and they go. And only a small percentage make it. What can parents do to help prepare their children for not being a professional athlete? Because a lot of them can be high school stars and college stars and still never make it.
That's a great question. And one of the things that Sean alluded to is whenever there's negative publicity regarding an athlete, it's all over the front pages of the paper, the sports page, because our society is very sports minded. But there are other professions that are just as important or just as lucrative, being a doctor, being a lawyer, that are even more important. And one of the things that you have to prepare, that there's other things that you can do. Now, with me being 6 feet tall in a big man's world, I had to prepare every year because I didn't know if I was going to make the cut. So you have to have a plan B, and it's not just from an educational or talent standpoint, it's from an injury standpoint. If you get hurt, if you walk outside your house, you get hit by a car, you slip on ice. Anything can happen to you any day that could prevent you from reaching that goal as an athlete. And you have to have other skills to be able to be successful.
I want to go down the list here, because down the row here, because we've got just a second left. Give me one tip for a parent, quickly, who's out there with a child who's dreaming of being a pro athlete, how they can help the child be more adjusted. How can they back up the child?
Quickly, you fill, you put 10,000 people in a stadium, and 1 out of every 10,000 are going to get a chance to play. So obviously, I think the first and foremost thing they have to do is go to school and guide them along, but realize that it's fleeting to think that every kid that plays high school sports is going to be a professional athlete.
Bill?
Get them involved in a number of activities, sports and otherwise, so that they can be well-rounded.
Henry?
I think it's not to push, but to support. If he chooses to do that, support him in it, but don't push him along as that's the most important thing.
Well, we thank you all for joining us today, and you are great examples, and I have a son who's intensely interested in sports, and I'm glad there are people around like you that he can look up to and emulate. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Thanks.
And we're going to take a look now at the news with Eric Olson. Eric, over to you.
All right, good morning. Here's the latest from the KARE 11 newsroom. U.S. Defense Secretary Dick Cheney and Joint Chiefs Chairman Colin Powell are scheduled to begin a fact-finding tour of the Gulf area today. President Bush sent them to gather information. They'll report back to the president on Sunday. In other developments this morning, 3 Jordanian guerrillas attacked a bus carrying Israeli soldiers along the Israel-Jordan border. The 3 Jordanians threw a grenade at the bus, injuring 4 Israeli soldiers. An Israeli patrol squad raced to the scene. The Jordanians were killed in a brief firefight with the patrol squad. There is no word on whether the infiltrators acted alone or were affiliated with a group. Here are some other headlines from the Gulf War. Saudi officials say a U.S. Patriot missile intercepted an Iraqi Scud fired at Riyadh early today. The debris landed north of the capital. And a report out of Iraq says Allied bombers have destroyed a major bridge across the Tigris River in Baghdad and also a communication center in the city. The Allies have had to target the same bridges many times. And at a briefing in Saudi Arabia this morning, General Robert Johnston talked about why some bridges are retargeted.
In some cases where pontoons have been put in place to substitute for a river bridge, and in a couple of occasions where we have destroyed 2 spans of a double-span bridge, we've seen efforts by the Iraqis to put a ramp across between the two to still find the bridge usable. And of course, that's the kind of bridge that we continue to retarget.
In other headlines, the British Broadcasting Corporation says Allies dropped 25 million leaflets on Baghdad and other Iraqi cities. The BBC says the leaflets are propaganda to ensure the Iraqi people understand the Allied viewpoint on the war. The Iranian news agency says Sudanese, Yemeni, and Vietnamese refugees continue to stream across the border into Iran. Nearly 2,000 refugees have crossed into Iran, but less than 100 of them are Iraqi. But there are many more Iraqis that are being held as prisoners of war. The commanding Saudi Arabian general says that the Allies are holding 936 POWs. And the Saudi spokesman adds that the Iraqi prisoners are being treated fairly.
And that Iraq will, over time, be welcomed back into the family of nations. For this reason, I am determined that prisoners of war will be treated to the highest standards of the Geneva Convention.
In local news, charges are expected to be filed against the accused killer of Michael Prozimenchikov this afternoon. Workers at a St. Paul car wash have provided investigators with key evidence in the case. The prime suspect, Zachary Perzitz, apparently brought his car in to have bloodstains removed. Prozimenchikov's dismembered body was found in a Washington County compost dump last week. Coming up tonight on KARE 11 News, we'll have the latest on the Gulf War. At 5, we'll have a live report from Saudi Arabia as Joint Chiefs Chairman Colin Powell and Defense Secretary Dick Cheney begin their fact-finding tour of Saudi Arabia. At 6, in Earth Care, we'll take a look at a new study that claims the old foam cups, which were supposed to be harmful to the environment, are actually better than their paper replacements. And in the KARE 11 News Extra at 10, we'll introduce you to a Marine recruiter and see how his life has changed since the start of the Gulf War. And that's the latest from the KARE 11 newsroom. Have a good weekend. Corbin and Dawson, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. And we are on our own little fact-finding tour right here. It's time for the daily weather update with meteorologist Ken Barlow. But first, I digress. Oscar, a nice shot of his socks. Just want to let you all know.
Wait a minute.
Just want to let you know. Here, Mikey's coming in. Look at this sort of pattern-on-pattern thing there. Very, very... A weather person.
With major personality.
Look at this. You know, with
Can we
the
get a
penny
little
loaf.
applause for Ken's
For
socks,
Ken right
please?
there. You know? Huh? Ken Barlow.
I'm not showing my legs though.
Unbelievable.
That may be the only time in your life you get screams from
And-
teenage girls.
And he's one of 4 men in Minnesota that still wears garters for those socks.
No.
Just kidding.
Just hair under there.
The question of the day, the seething question of the day is, 1898, the record was set. Will we break it today?
Yes.
We will break. Okay.
Good.
All right.
In
What are we
fact,
looking at?
we're only 3 degrees away from it right now. It's 43 as we speak and going up quickly. I think we'll touch 50 this afternoon. Let's look at that forecast. And it does include the partial sun that we have with us now. Again, it's 43. We have 3 more big degrees to go. And that record is shattered. 46 to 51, record warmth. Partial sunshine. My advice, though, is to get out and enjoy it because as we take a peek at the weekend, it does look like it'll be cooling down each day. Now, tomorrow we're talking about sunshine, down to about 38 for a high, and by Sunday, perhaps 28 and then 25 on Monday, but still, that's 4 or 5 degrees above what it should be, so no complaints, I hope.
I'm a little bummed out, though. We're getting colder again, aren't we?
Yeah, but it's not going to be very much cold air. It's not going to last very long, I don't
So we could hover at that like 20, 25 area? Because that's workable for me.
Don't lie to us, Ken. We can take the truth.
Yeah, give us the truth. When you get into teens and single digits, then I have to go into the deep, deep closet activity here. For the,
Don't go in the closet.
Okay.
It's going to be very nice.
Okay.
Warm, warm, warm. A little bit above normal. Not quite 50, but still nice.
And
take it.
where'd you get the socks?
Can't say. They were a gift.
Salvation Army goes down there and shops all the time.
It's probably from Bob's.
Secondhand
Are these
socks.
off camera now?
No, it's probably from Bob's of Bangor, where he's from. Bangor, Maine. And when we come back, it's Friday. It's host cooking time. Campbell's Cream of Soup. Broccoli soup. We'll be cooking it in the kitchen with a recipe. Coming up. Here we go.
Hey, it's a jungle out there.
I know. Did you get everything I asked for?
Right down to the fresh baked muffins.
Great. What's that?
Jif, I figured you're so choosy about everything else that you...
I already have a big name peanut butter.
Hey, I grew up on Jif. It's peanuttier.
Oh, come on.
Do me a favor. Smell yours.
It's okay.
Now, Jif.
Hey, it's like fresh peanuts.
Right. Taste yours.
Fine.
Now, Jif.
Wow. It tastes more like fresh peanuts. We have a new peanut butter.
Hey, am I a hero or what?
You know, Kara, I'm going to send you shopping more often.
Thanks.
For more fresh roasted peanut taste, choosy moms choose Jif.
And now, a Russian dance in honor of my stroganoff. Hey, whoa!
You'll fall for stroganoff, too. Egg noodles, real sour cream mix, and your hamburger.
Hamburger helper. Stroganoff.
Makes a great meal.
The Perry house is always an open house,
They're eating over.
so they always serve the best at dinner time.
This is a salad. Will it work?
Like their house dressing, Ranch from Kraft.
Thank you.
Sure you invited enough?
Only Kraft Ranch has the cool and creamy taste that's made it the favorite at the Perry house.
Grow big and strong.
And probably yours.
Have some more, please. Can he spend the night?
Ranch from Kraft.
I'm glad you don't eat it every day.
America's house dressing.
Leftovers. I hate leftovers. You know why they're called leftovers, Helen? Because they're left over. Oh, what? Oh, leave those here. We ought to have leftovers more often. Broccoli? I can't eat broccoli. I hate broccoli. I won't eat it. No, wait a minute. I like broccoli. Maybe it was cauliflower I didn't like. Meatloaf?
Single?
Uh-oh.
Try the Zappa pack. It's Cheese Whiz for one. Cheese Whiz changes everything.
Hi, welcome back to Between Friends. And before we get into our cooking, Jenny Hanley is a goaltender for the Edina High School boys hockey team. She is, as of last night, 6-0. She shut out Cooper High School. But not only is Jenny a great goalie, but she was also voted Snow Queen at the Snow Days Festival at Edina. There is Jenny celebrating her victory as the Snow Queen, and she really is very lucky. And here she is, not quite sure where she is, picking out her escort for the festivities. She puts on those shades and goes for it right there. But our congratulations to Jenny Hanley, who's a lovely girl, a great goalie, and really, and the 1991 Snow Queen at Edina High.
You went out and skated with her.
Skated, tried to shoot a couple of goals on her. She's tough. She was great.
Isn't that neat? I want to be in high school again.
I do too.
Oh, we could go back to school with these people.
You want to be in cooking class again with Mrs. Ferguson.
We have another giveaway that we want to tell you about. This happens to be the steamboat giveaway, and boy, does that look like fun. We're going to be drawing for 2 winners. Each winner will win a trip for 2 to Steamboat Resort in beautiful Steamboat Springs, Colorado. The prize includes round trip on Northwest Airlines. It's only a 2-hour nonstop flight. And you get 4 days and 3 nights of free lodging. Buck Hill will give a ski tune-up lesson to the winners of the drawing. The winners will be drawn on Friday, February 15th. Send your postcards to
Between Friends, Steamboat Springs Drawing, P.O. Box 111, Minneapolis, Minnesota 55440. Only one card per person, please. Postmark no later than February the 12th. And you have to use your trip before March the 25th. But boy,
I used to live in Steamboat Springs.
You used to live everywhere. I'm sick of hearing about all the places that you have lived.
Okay. I mean, I did. It's a great place. If you love to ski,
How long?
I lived there from 1971 to 72 for about 10 months.
And do they allow you to come back into the city?
I can't go into Steamboat, but I can go into the state of Colorado under special armed guard.
Under special armed guard.
No,
okay,
it's fun.
We're going to cook now.
She's cooking. I'm just going to look good and watch.
Well, you know, we've been running this deal where we've been encouraging people out there in the Twin Cities to send us their recipes that are made with cream of broccoli soup. And we got tons of recipes, and we have chosen a few. We've been cooking them on the air. Last week, Dawson showed me how to do one. This week, I'm going to show you how to do one. Now, this was sent to us from Robbie Bernice Rodriguez. And Robbie, we hope you're watching, and thank you. And Robbie's going to receive the thermos and the 2 mugs over there from Campbell's Soup, plus a little recipe book, which is kind of a nice little treat. And this is called Potatoes au gratin with cream of broccoli soup. And here we go. Are you ready?
It's one of the 4 major food groups. Very good. Okay, get that
Now,
started.
what we've done is you take 4 large potatoes, and potatoes. And you peel them, you slice them, you boil them. And
Which
we
I
have
did
already
early this morning.
Yes, Dawson did this in the wee hours of the AM. They almost look like apples. They look a little green on that one monitor there, but they're not. They're potatoes, and they are all, of course, drained. They've been boiled and drained and whatever. Now you take these, and I'm going to let you be my helpful handy. Now you put these in a Pyrex bowl.
Okay.
We need a drum roll for Dawson.
Oh, I lost a couple.
They're flying everywhere. Here, catch.
All right. Here, have a potato. They're cooked. All right. Here we go.
Wait, here we go. One more. Are you ready? Here. Okay, there we go.
Actually,
now, throw 2 pieces of the potatoes to your next door neighbor through the window. Then, take, in this bowl right here, Dawson, I want you to take the 1/4 cup of milk. Ta-da. Well, you don't have to do it like you're mixing artwork or something.
I like to be dainty. All right.
And then you do the sour cream right over there. 1/4 cup of sour cream.
The whole Megillah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's already been pre-measured by
milk
our
and
staff.
sour cream.
Don't you wish when you cook that someone was there to pre-measure everything like they do on TV, and then dump in that can of cream of broccoli soup because Campbell's makes it good.
Okay. Now we don't mix it at all. Ooh, it's all right. All right. Easy.
I think we're turning on us, Dawson. We lost him.
Westwood.
We're going to throw the rest of these potatoes at you if you're not nice at us. Yeah, mix that up. Boy, you can smell the broccoli. That's okay. You don't have to get it. Just this is for demonstration purposes. Careful. Don't slop
Do I whisk it? Is it a whisk? Do I whisk it?
Do we want to whisk it?
Is it a whisk?
Yes.
It's a whisk?
Okay. Okay, whisk it. That's not...
Well, I can't because I've got my one good blazer on.
Okay. All right, okay. Is it stirred? Is it done? How are we doing on time here? Where are we? How are we doing?
I don't know.
Okay.
We got
Dump
3.
that into here.
Okay.
And then you're going to...
Sort of fold it over the top?
No, well, you're going to have to stir it in there somehow, Dawson. And I suggest then you start with a little bigger Pyrex bowl. Robbie, you got to be very tidy, Robbie, when you do this, right? Okay. Here you go, honey. Now go for it. What do you want, both of these, like salad?
Well, I'm folding it, right? Is this it?
Yes, this is...
You know,
I really should have put
I was a professional athlete once.
Him.
I was a professional athlete, didn't prepare, and here I am cooking.
Sport?
No, I'm just kidding. Highlight. That was my game.
Okay. All right, okay. So you kind of mix it around. It looks really gloppy and not too appealing right now. Looks a little like potato salad, doesn't it?
Great for a food fight. Just kidding. Okay.
But it smells good. Now, the pièce de résistance
is?
We have to put, and you can demo the grating. Do you want to demo that?
I can demo grate. Sure. How come I'm doing all the work for today, Corb? This is
Well,
funny.
what do you think? I am stupid?
Well, I owe you. You owe me 2 then now.
Okay, so you're going to just put the cheese kind of around the top like Dawson is so nicely doing. How do we think he did on the grating? Good? Medium? That was very weak applause.
It's all in the pinky.
That was very, very weak applause.
There's the grating. All
that
right,
goes on top. What a mess. Look, you've got it all over the counter. There's gunk everywhere.
Just throw that on there. All right.
All right, you bake this at 350 degrees, and it says for only 8 minutes. Gosh, is that right? 8 little minutes? 10 minutes is what somebody else says here. So let's split the difference and say 9 minutes. What do you say? Bake it at 350 for 9 minutes, and then we need a drum roll. Brrr, come on. Brrr. Okay, and ipso facto, that bing, turns into this. Are you ready? Get
Yeah.
the plate, darling. This looks pretty good. Wait, I want to show it before. Don't use that icky thing. Use that. Sure, set it on my plate. Use one of those forks. But I want to show this. This is kind of pretty. See? Looks like eggs.
It's got a certain Halloween kind of feel to it.
It's sliding around.
Here,
Look at that.
Let me get a.
It kind of is in motion. Robbie, trust me, we know that it's good. Robbie's sitting at home saying, but they're making fun of my food.
Okay.
Robbie, we give you the prizes. What more do you want? Now, Dawson, you always get these man-sized portions like you're eating like there's no tomorrow.
I don't know.
That's enough for 38 people. This will probably feed a family of 12, and Dawson just
knock
ate.
yourself out.
I have to taste. Well, you got to taste it too.
Yeah,
Here, let's share it off this one plate.
And Jake, our sound engineer, and Dale can't have any.
Let's share it off this one plate.
Okay.
So you want to do it at the same time? Sort of a host feeding frenzy. You ready?
I live for this segment.
1, 2, 3.
It's not bad. It needs a little salt.
Salt. It needs salt. Absolutely, Robbie. We love it, but we put salt in it.
Yeah. A little salt. Maybe
you hold the
Tabasco.
plate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's not
good. I
bad.
think that's good. If you would like this recipe, you can just call the connection. They'll give you that recipe. And
we'll be right back with the Andrew Lloyd Webber Singers.
We're going to keep eating.
Stay with us. Right back. We'll be singing.
This 30-minute workout is such a blessing. Every second counts, every hour counts, every half hour counts.
A full 90-minute workout in only 30 minutes. And this is the only place where you can get it.
To know that you can go to the gym and you can get 30 minutes where you have a total muscular workout, that is so great.
By calling this number right now, you can get this very special offer on the 30-minute workout. This trial membership usually costs $9.95, but if you call right now, it's free.
You can't find half an hour in your day to make yourself look and feel great? You don't deserve a hot day.
Call right now and get all the benefits of the 30-minute workout and get 2 weeks free at US Swim and Fitness.
14 years of marriage, you think you know someone. And then one night, it's like a different woman. Oh, I admit it was kind of exciting. A plain old Tuesday night, and suddenly, pie for dessert.
Mrs. Smith's ready-to-serve desserts.
An honest-to-goodness lemon meringue pie. On a Tuesday. I don't know, one day same old, the next day, boom.
I like to keep them guessing.
They won't be expecting it, but they're gonna love it. Mrs. Smith's Desserts. Surprise someone tonight.
Child care for the audience, provided by Club Kid, an hourly child care adventure. Interior design provided by International Interiors, where Twin Cityans have found great value on contemporary furnishings for 20 years. Corbin's Clothing provided by Cedric's Fashions in the Galleria.
Smashing all the records I can get. I'll show that Steve Cochran fella from KDWB. Adios, Madonna. And put some clothes on for Pete's sake. And what's with this MC Hammer? I'll hammer you. Oh, no. Lawrence Welk, my favorite.
You decide. Mornings with Steve Cochran on KDWB 101.3 FM.
Hello?
Hi, honey. I just checked in.
How was the flight?
Bad food, good movie.
I miss you.
I miss you, too.
I feel so alone when you're not here.
Did you, lock all the doors and turn on the ADT system?
Yep.
The last thing a burglar wants to see. ADT helps protect your home and family 24 hours a day, every day of the year by linking your home to an ADT customer service center. Call 1-800-ADT-INFO. For a small monthly fee and one-time installation charge, our SafeWatch system can help protect your home against break-ins, fire, and medical emergencies. Help protect your home. Help protect your peace of mind. Call 1-800-ADT-INFO.
I'll see you at home tomorrow night then. I love you both.
We love you too. We'll be here.
ADT, we're home even when you're not.
ADT SafeWatch for as little as $19.95 per month. And for a limited time, only $195 for installation.
Hi. When you think of Cats and Phantom of the Opera, Jesus Christ Superstar, Starlight Express, the one composer that really comes to mind is the brilliant Andrew Lloyd Webber. And we are very pleased to have a couple of representatives from the music of Andrew Lloyd Webber, two of the, I guess, stars, I could say.
I would say that.
Okay, all right,
Let's see.
stars of the music of Andrew Lloyd Webber. Kelli James and Ray Walker are with us today. Welcome. Nice to have you.
Thank you for having us.
Nice to have you here. Kelli, what is unique about his music?
Well, I think Andrew writes for the people. He writes melodies that you remember. Out of each musical usually comes a beautiful hit song that's very memorable. Also, I think what's special about the concert is that it's not very often that you get to hear one composer's collective work in one evening. So I think that's special.
How many songs are sung in this?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd say close to 30, maybe, Ray?
Maybe, yeah.
Something
It's
like
a
that.
pretty good sized cast?
Yes, 12 singers and 37 orchestra members. And it's just a wonderful evening of music.
Is it hard as an actress, as a singer, to sing all these different songs that have all these different ranges, I assume, because they've been arranged for different people through the years, and now all of a sudden you have to do all of them. Do you ever feel that that's a challenge?
It tends to be a challenge, but it's a wonderful challenge for an actress. Of course, Andrew handpicked every singer for each individual section of the concert. So I do most of the belting numbers, and then of course you have a very light soprano doing all the phantom numbers. So there are different singers, and you actually get quite a variety throughout the evening of voices and music.
How do you like being on tour? That's going to be tough because you're based in New York, right?
Right, correct. I am. I like it. It's something you get used to. I mean, it's a hard life, but you know, it's very interesting being in a different city, and you never get too comfortable. You know, once you're there for 5 days, you're ready to go to the next city and experience a new audience and a new theater and a new culture of a different city. So it's fun.
First time here?
Must be hard on the voice too, I would think.
It is. It's 8
The
shows a
traveling
week,
and-
and
Yeah.
you know, 4-show weekends, and it's tough, but you know, that's what we're prepared for and we're ready for. So.
Well, the performance is now through Sunday at the Northrop Auditorium. It is called The Music of Andrew Lloyd Webber, and the number to call on that is 224-4222. That's 224-4222. And Kelli's going to sing I Don't Know How to Love Him from Jesus Christ Superstar, and then you are going to sing Ray Starlight from Starlight Express. And the accompanies are David Geist and Tony Cesarano. And we'll say goodbye for Friday, and we'll see you Monday.
Yeah. Have a nice weekend.
Take care.
I don't know how to love him, what to do, how to move him. I've been changed, yes, really changed in these past few days. When I've seen myself, I seem like someone else. I don't know how to take this. I don't see why he moves me. He's a man. He's just a man. And I've had so many men before, in very many ways. He's just a man. Should I bring him down? Should I scream and shout? Should I speak of love? Let my feelings
said he loved me, I'd be lost, I'd be frightened, couldn't cope, just couldn't cope. I'd turn my head, I'd back away, I wouldn't want to know. He scares me so. I want him so. I love
Night is darkest, open up your mind. The dream begins, it's becoming clearer. Listen to the distance, listen and you'll find the midnight train is getting nearer. Starlight Express, Starlight Express, are you real? Yes, oh no. Starlight Express, answer me, yes. I don't want you to go. And if you know, then show me which way I must go. Starlight Express, Starlight Express, are you real? Yes or no? Starlight Express, please answer me, yes. I don't want you to go. Starlight Express, you must confess, are you real? Do you care? Starlight Express, please answer me, yes. I need you to be
Camelot, now playing in the main dinner theater. Call for reservations, 934-1525.
Hey, you, don't hold back. Whee!
Charmin says, don't hold back. Every family needs squeezing. Don't resist. If it's soft, who needs a reason? Everyone should have some squeezing fun. And with squeezable softness, Charmin's the one. So don't hold back. Everybody agrees. Take that softness and give it a squeeze. So don't hold back. Everybody loves a little squeeze.
Louis Rich Deli Thin Cold Cuts.
Tastes too good.
Tastes too good to be, but it's not.
I don't believe it.
Tastes too good to be, you know what?
Deliciously thinner cold cuts from Louis Rich.
And low fat? No way.
Tastes too good to be, but it's true. Tastes too good to be good for you.
Are you kidding?
They're deli thin and deli delicious.
You're not kidding.
Tastes too good to be good for you.
Tastes too good.
Can you trust your mate? Some people are hiring private detectives to spy on their spouse. Can these marriages be saved? Wednesday at 10 on KARE 11 News.
From your 24-hour news station, this is KARE 11 News and Weather on the Hour.
Good afternoon. 44 degrees at 12 o'clock. Well, this just in. Second-degree murder charges have been filed against 39-year-old Zachary Persitz of Minnetonka for the dismemberment slaying of Twin Cities stockbroker Michael Prozomenchikov. And a reminder to call the KARE 11 Gulf line at 542-1111 if you have questions or just looking for updates on the war in the Persian Gulf. Well, highs near 50 today, cooling down to the 30s for the weekend.
Mr. Kyriakis is expecting you. Go right on in.
Thanks, Henderson. Harley. Hi.
How are things going with Kimberly Donovan?
They're progressing.
Then you will be able to use her as a means of getting to her ex-husband?
Exactly as planned.
Is something wrong?
No. No, nothing. Nothing's wrong as long as it accomplishes my goal.
Ready for a meeting?
I'm just getting some notes together.
Well, while you're doing that, would you mind if we talked for a minute?
No, of course.
I'd like to recommend Carly Manning for a staff position at the lab.
Oh.
Look, I know that you are not a big fan of hers.
No, well, you've got that one right. Look, we can talk about Carly Manning's shortcomings any other time. Kayla, there's something much more important we need to talk about right now.
I don't know if I know what you mean.
Kayla, there's something going on between us, and there's really no point us pretending that there isn't.
I don't know what you want me to say.
Well, you could try telling me what you're thinking, how you're feeling. I would like to know.
Shane, I will...
Yeah, hello?
Hello, Shane. It's me, Kimberly.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. This is MacDonald Carey, and these are the days of our lives.
She knew he was egotistical.
Sex with me is very good.
Sure.
He knew she was emotional.
She wanted commitment.
I will start with
monogamy.
He wanted what every man wants.
Just a side order of sex, please.
There are two sides to every story.
I love you.
At last, there's a movie with both of them.
I feel warmly towards you.
Ow! He said.
She said.
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, February 22nd at theaters everywhere.
It's impossible. Georgia red clay ground into my son's uniform.